I have a very big year coming up in 2026. I have been planning this for ages. I said that 2025 was the year I was going to go abroad, and I haven't been able to do that for a collection of reasons that I can't even truly articulate. It just felt like it was never the right time, and I'm not a sort of person that believes there has to be a right time, like inspiration has to strike. In my opinion, you just plan to do something and you go do it. But I had so many other things going on that there was always something of a higher priority, and I didn't like that. So, this year, I have a fighting schedule. We very purposefully, in like the time between maybe like October-ish, I was like, right, we're going to be very intentionally gentle with training right about now. We're going to plan stuff, we're going to do logistics-based stuff, we're obviously like, we go to Taekwondo, inarguably, we never skip a Taekwondo class, and we go to squad sometimes too, but we are being very intentionally gentle with training. We're not trying to do anything amazing. Like, if we do, great, but we're not like trying to kill ourselves. We are in a rest like period. Less intentionally, I've been really slacking on my weightlifting this year, and that is through no conscious effort. I've just been a little bit crap with it, and that has just sort of resulted in my medical conditions being a bit worse. My weight is going back to a place where I'm not really happy with it, and I'm aware of that, and there's nothing I can do. Like, I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, we're making allowances, we're having a gentle year. And it's like, no, I was just bad with it, and it's in the past now, so we're going to move on and we're going to do better. We're going to get to the level of repute that I am used to with my activities. So the power cage is behind me with this pulley rig that I made a lot of effort to put together, and with my bench and my heavy weights and stuff. And then that's the plan. Is now January, we're in January. I am sitting down, I am creating a new schedule, a new workout routine, and we're very conscientiously increasing the intensity throughout the whole of January. Then in February is a big one for me. I am doing my first competition abroad. It's going to be in Brussels. I haven't sent in my entry yet because I'm waiting until the last possible minute to submit entry, so I know that my weight is accurate, but I know when the submissions close and I'm going. It's the Flanders Field tournament in Belgium, in a town called Mechelen near Brussels, and it's a very popular competition for British competitors because it's very close. It's not hard to get to. I know a few people have been to it before, and I liked it because they have very unique medals. And I can't say I've never been abroad before. I've never taken myself abroad before. The only times I've been abroad before is when I went to Dublin in Ireland for my friend's 18th birthday. It was like 2 nights, like a long weekend, and they did all the arrangements. I just gave them the money and I got a passport and I turned up. I mean, I already had a passport, but I got the money and I turned up. And let's be real, going to Ireland is kind of like England plus. Like, the Irish people won't like that, but like, it doesn't feel abroad, you know? It's a new place, but it doesn't feel unusual in any sense of the word, because I can just operate as normal. And then the only time I went before that was during a school trip when I went to Germany, where I had the most horrible haircut I've ever had in my life. It was like shorter than my face, and it was like, and that was for the Christmas markets, and we had a whole itinerary, and obviously the teachers were herding us everywhere. I don't even have a stamp in my passport from when we went, because no one's checking the passports of like 150 odd like school children. They're just going, yeah, your teachers, got proof of that? Okay, cool, no mass kidnap is going on here. That's kind of what they do. So that's the only times I've been abroad. So I'm taking myself abroad to this very close by place where I don't necessarily even care about Belgium. Like, I've got a lot of countries on my list that I would much rather go to, like, no offense Belgium. I've got something in my eye and it's really bothering me. Like, no offense Belgium, but like, I'm going as like a way of learning. And we needed to learn in a relatively close place to home in case we did mess up. I need to learn how to catch a plane. It was a traumatizing experience trying to book a plane, because I ended up like for 2.5 hours, I was on various websites like checking stuff, and I had to get my friend to sit with me and be like, okay, I'm gonna press this button now. That button's okay? I think that button's okay. And like, he never really told me to do anything that I didn't do myself. I was fully leading this process, but I just needed the emotional support that I wasn't like breaking it and like committing to something that I couldn't like back away from. Because it's the first time I booked a plane and I was nervous. And as we'll get to it, I can't just stroll on with a rucksack. I'm gonna have to check some luggage. So that's the thing that was like a big no for me. So So I'm going to Flanders Field and then I'm going to spend the weekend there. I'm arriving the day before a competition. Not the night before, I'm arriving the day before, so I have like a solid 12 hours to get myself situated. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get to my place I'm staying before check-in's even allowed, so like I'll be really leisurely about it. Leisurely. And I made it so, although I'm probably going to leave unreasonably early anyway, I don't need to be up at 2 a.m. to go catch my plane, because I booked a plane for about 11, like around midday. I'm going to get the tram down, and it's all going to be great. So yeah. Then I'm gonna do the competition. Hopefully, we're gonna, with intention, I will win. I will win at the competition. I'm working out what events I want to sign up for, because I typically, if everything's included, I do everything. If not everything's included in the price, I still tend to do patterns and sparring, and I like doing destruction. But considering all the money I'm spending on this, and like I know that I'm unlikely to place in patterns. Doubly so because this is a sine wave competition and I practice Changhon style, so I cannot do sine wave patterns to any high quality. I think I made it through the first round one time when I was at sine wave competition and I was sick. I think the fact I was sick made me either more woo 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 woo, or I slowed down enough that they liked me more. So fundamentally, I feel like I shouldn't waste my money on a patterns event when I also I have a very strong history of freaking out and like forgetting and getting disqualified very shortly before the end of my pattern, which at this point I'm probably making a self-fulfilling prophecy, but I'm not past that yet. So I'm gonna do sparring, obviously, that's my jam, that's my thing that I'm good at and I enjoy it. And then I'm gonna sign up for destruction because I am less consistent with destruction, but I enjoy destruction and I have a fair few medals in it. I've got a couple, I have a couple destruction golds, and I also have a bronze from a mixed gender destruction event, which I was quite happy with. So like there were 2 blokes and I was bronze, so yeah, I had to break something for that. And there's also team sparring, which I really want to do, and I always really want to do it, but I don't know who's going to be there to be in a team with me, because to my understanding, like it's definitely separated genders, so it's got to be women. It's got to be adult women. They'll probably allow blending adults and veterans, but probably not under 18. But I don't want to be on a team with an under 18-year-old anyway, because like that's a different sort of vibe. Yeah, so like, they'll probably blend veterans and adults. But there's also the fact that like I'm a black belt and people from my club aren't coming, as I know. There's been some interest from people at my club, but no one's like committed, and now I'm like starting the logistics of it. I am gonna like nudge them again and be like, are you coming to Belgium, because I'm starting to book things, and like I'm booking accommodation right now, and I've got a place where it's not just a bed, it's like a room, so I could have people share the room with me and split it to make it cheaper, but we'll work that out. But basically you have to have at least 2 more people than me. It's like teams of 3 or 4, and if every woman from my club came, we would have 3 of us, because my club's very small. And I would be the highest belt, and our lowest belt would be, I can never remember if she's green. I think she's blue tag. I think she's blue tag now. I can never remember. She should be a higher belt than she is, but like, you know, scheduling. Yeah, so team sparring. Team sparring, I'm probably gonna sign up for it, and then they're going to be like, where's your team? And I'm going to go, I don't have a team. Please give me a team. And we'll see who else signs up on the day to form a team of appropriate groupings. Don't think size matters. Normally, team sparring is a mixed weight thing. And depending on how it works out, they kind of like, there's loads of ways they can do it. They can pair you, or they can do a lottery. Sometimes they do like, you can swap out at every score. It's like a whole bunch of different variations, but you just say, don't you? So that's 3 divisions I want to do. I want to do sparring, I want to do destruction, and I want to do team sparring. So paying another, like, what is it, 10 euros or something? Paying another 10 euros for a division that I don't want to do and will make me more tired, and I'm not going to win. I feel like I'm just going to not do that. And then I'm going to spend 3 days being a tourist in proper Brussels, because Mechelin is like a little bit out of Brussels and you have to get like a train for like 50. Very nervous about that, but we're learning. It's a learning experience, and we're going to vlog it too. So that's February. While I'm still away, on my either last night or second to last night, I think last night, I am scheduled on a video call for the briefing for something called Ultra MMA, which, if you're in the martial arts sphere, you've probably heard of Ultra MMA. It's very popular. So Ultra MMA is a beginner-friendly league. They don't want like professional fighters. They don't want fighters who like it's their job. They don't want a bunch of martial arts instructors turning up. But like you can turn up if you have done some martial arts before because it's mixed martial arts. But it's also open, and they strongly encourage people who have never done martial arts before. I'm not sure if I agree with that on the principle of like the idea of mixing martial arts is you need to have a basis before you can add stuff in and mix it. But MMA is its own sport in its own right with its own stylizations now anyway because it's got so deep. Like that's why I kind of describe myself as almost a freestyle striking fighter, like a freestyle striker, as opposed to a mixed art, because like I do Taekwondo, I'm a black belt in Taekwondo, I'm going for my third dan in Changhan style Taekwondo at the end of the year, just spoiler, and I have trained in other arts but never dedicatedly. It's like a seminar here, a bit of a workout session with a friend there, a bit of a competition, a freestyle competition thing. So like I'm doing MMA because I am a striker and I want to learn grappling, and I primarily signed up for grappling. I wouldn't have looked it out on my own, but yeah, the video call is like briefing and stuff, but I wouldn't have looked it up on my own. What happened is my friend Salem, who if you see my video on this channel, I coached them for IBE, Industry Boxing Events in Manchester. The part 2 of that is going to be coming out hopefully relatively soon. I've been delaying it because I was waiting for the official fight footage to come out, and they are apparently only releasing the official fight footage during the next iteration of it, which from a marketing perspective is not ideal. But whatever. So Salem was really hyped about that, joined a local gym, Fighting Fit in Manchester, very popular place, probably heard of it if you're even kind of local. And they do, like, it's less of a class, and this is our club and we have these classes. It's sort of the other style of dojang where we are a venue, we have a rota, the rota is managed by a few instructors, and you can sign on to whatever class you want. So Salem has been doing more boxing, and they also signed up to a little bit of kickboxing, but apparently they've not done a lot of kickboxing, and then some capoeira because they had a little bit of capoeira as a kid or a teenager or something. And then like they've just been dabbling in all the other arts. Personally, I feel like it would be wise if they like learned an art to a degree of like at least intermediate level first before they started trying to like add more stuff in. But it's not my choice. It's not my training journey. That's up to them. And because Salem got so hyped and they joined that club and they wanted to do more fights like this, they are a bit of a performance. They prefer the more showy type of things. Like I said to them, I'm taking you to a normal competition soon, like a leisure centre. There's thousands of people rotating on about 20 different mats. Like that's optimistic, 20, maybe like 5 different mats. I'm going to take you to one of those. But they like these big showy type things. And Ultra MMA is the idea is it's all charity fundraising. They happen all over the country. It's like a big organization that has a template and a business structure, and like you as a club can decide, I want to host an Ultra MMA in the hopes of getting a bit more reputation for my club, possibly a funnel to bring in new students who are very inexperienced and looking for extra training. It's normally MMA clubs that host it, but sometimes it's other style of martial arts clubs that have some MMA instructor experience. And there's like a thing they do for that. So there's charity fundraising involved. Every competitor has to raise a certain amount for charity before the second week, or else they get kicked off the board. I am signed up. There will be a whole lot of stuff about this in the near future, but the charity that I'm supporting is the one I used to work at, called the Anderton Centre, also known as Lancashire Outdoor Activities Initiative. I might post a link before I end this stream, but I'm still waiting for the paperwork to go through so they can officially be on the website, and then I can finish the setup of the campaign page. But yeah, look out for that. There's going to be a lot of information on that. If you go on my social media, you can find a link to the page where you can become a member of the email list to get updates ASAP as soon as they happen, and you'll know when tickets are out and stuff. But basically, you need to fundraise for a certain amount for charity. You can have sponsors, looking for sponsors, because the content of this video is going to show how much money I spent recently. I don't have any sponsors at the moment. I've been in discussions with a bunch of them, and I'm sort of halfway through conversations, but it's hard to finalise that sort of thing without having the final charity fundraising page set up because of bureaucracy. So it's very chicken and egg right now, but you can have up to 4. There are windows available. Speak to me if you would like to sponsor a very experienced championship fighter who's becoming international this year. So I I picked my thing. Salem came to me and was like, I'm doing this, can't wait to do it. And they didn't invite me to take part, but in my head I was like, am I gonna coach them again? Do I wanna coach them some more? Am I gonna coach them with like kicking now? But like also I'm not experienced in grappling and I want to be experienced in grappling. And I had a bit of a debate about which iteration I was gonna sign up to because they came to me like shortly before the previous run. And I knew a guy who did the run before that and he like told me his opinions on it and it was quite cool and he appreciated it. So it sounded like a fun thing to do. But I decided to like, no, I'm gonna do this one with Salem. I'm gonna train side by side. Maybe we can do like a sequel series. Fun little trivia bit. One of my friends, Levas, who is a moderator on my Discord server, as well as a fellow competitor who I met down in Kent at a freestyle competition many years ago at this point. He saw all this stuff was happening and he was like, no, you know what? I'm gonna sign up too. And it turns out that our Ultra MMA runs that are in separate parts of the country are actually taking place on the exact same week. So we're on a similar schedule. So it's going to be like I was going to say a freeway fight, but you know what I mean. So that's really cool. But I only have a certain amount of equipment that is suitable for Taekwondo regulations, and I didn't have anything for MMA. So we're going to get to that in a minute. But the point is, the meeting is going to be while I'm in Belgium. The training is going to begin the week I get back. You have 3 sessions a week for training that you can go to all of them, or you are expected to go to at least half of them. I obviously want to go to as many as possible because the main reason I wanted to sign up, yes, it's fun, yes, it's good content, yes, it's for a good cause, but I want to learn how to do grappling and groundwork and stuff. I can observe, and I made a video before where it was like Taekwondo black belt critiques like grappling drills. Also, I don't remember what the video was called, but I haven't actually done it, and I want to do it. And I have like one move which is very grappling focused. It's literally like assuming someone's like laid on top of you. I hope you can see me while I do this. It's like assuming someone's laid on top of you like this. They're choking you, they've straddled you, and you're supposed to bend their elbows to pin them here. And as you do that, you cock a leg to sort of misbalance them, and then you roll with all your might over so they lose their balance. And that's the extent of what I know for grappling right now. So I would like to learn how to do MMA stuff. And that's why I signed up. And I am going to do another stream soon where I do their sign up process because they have like a bunch of onboarding documentation that I've not filled out yet because I've been waiting for a bunch of things to happen. In my head, I've got like a plan and order in which I have to do things. And because one thing gets stalled, I don't start the other thing. And I feel like that's a good workflow process in terms of not skipping steps, but it also slows everything down and like that's an ADHD issue. So we'll get there, because we're in January already and this is coming imminently. A deadline helps. So training starts in February, the week I get back, and then that runs for 2 months. And then in April, the week of my birthday, that's when the fight is. So I have currently in my mind about 3.5 months to really lock in on my training, my intensity, shed the little pudge that I'm not so happy about. Ideally get back to a visible ab, because I did have a singular visible ab at one point. It wasn't even a pair, it was just the one at my skinniest. I think it was over this way, singular ab I had. I would like it back. And yeah, then I have a competition in between that. I have a competition in March that I want to go to, which is in the Midlands, which is run by some people that I'm pretty close with and I've got loads of experience competing with, and I enjoy. It's like a nice local vibe. So we've got a really intense one. It's like big brain thinking for me in February. Then we've got another really intense one in April. We've got a chill one in March, just to, you know, get the mentality churning back in the usual flow. Then it's a little fluid. I think I have an idea for an event I want to do in May, and I have my Discord server up on my phone here that I'm going to double check on. If I check on my calendar. Yep. March, April. Yeah, May. In May, there is I've got it written as the MWTA British Championships in the Bay Sports area, which I believe is Master Wolf. I haven't met Master Wolf. I just remember that this was a very south beachy sort of area. I've even put like link pending. So like when I save this, they didn't have a lot of information out, but it's the Bay Sports Arena, not Bay Sports Area, the Bay Sports Arena. So it even tells you it's like near the beach, and that's sort of near Levas, and he invited me to go to it. I think he knows Master Wolf, not so sure. But I meant to go to a Master Wolf competition right before lockdown, but it got cancelled because of lockdown. So it'll be nice to finally close that loop and tick a box. And that's in May. And then I'll probably get a few more events that pop up over the course of the year that I want to go to, but I'm really focusing on going to events that I haven't attended before because it's really important to me that I don't get a lot of duplicates in my trophy shelf, because the past few years kind of got a few redos, and it's nice, they have different ribbons for some of them, but I want variety because it makes me give a shit. It makes me actually want to do better, because if I don't do as well, it's like, well, I already got a medal from this place, which, like, as someone who really cares about winning, like it's hard to make me actually not care so much, which is wild. And I stop caring when I get bored, so I need new experiences basically, because I don't want to keep living the same year on repeat, which is what happens when you go to the same calendar events, unless you want to lose every single weekend ever to going to compete, which when my club trains on Sundays, I wouldn't get to train normally ever, if that were the case. So yeah, I'm going kind of loops here, but the point is I've got those all lined up. I'm going to look for some more unusual stuff. I want to compete abroad more than once this year. It does depend on cash flow, but I don't necessarily have a concern about my ability to earn money. It's just I would like the money I earn to go towards buying a home ASAP, so I'm not renting. So sponsors would be welcome. If you are a potential sponsor, consider the fact that I, as an adult, have competed on average, roughly, like once a month, once every other month, pretty consistently since at least before lockdown and since lockdown. Even in lockdown, I was doing online ones, but they weren't the same. And I've only ever had one event ever as a competitor as an adult where I didn't come out with a medal, and that's because they cancelled the last event of the day because they ran over. I might have still got a medal. So it's a pretty safe bet if you're looking for a fighter to sponsor, just gonna say. So yeah, if you want to help fund my adventures abroad and have a little vlog dedicated to you as well, then that'll be nice. As well as just normally being a sponsor, like in a structured contractual influencer content creator way or athlete way. Then you also, there's a link in my chat right now where you can, it's called Upgrade Chat, and that is a little website that I have which is free to host, which is why I use it on that URL, which admittedly looks a bit scammy, but it's not. And you can support me like Patreon, except instead of Patreon, it's just a website that I control more. So you can get a membership to my Discord server as a supporter in DebbersDo, and that will unlock a few capabilities in server that not everyone gets, and you can help support me making this content, help support me going to compete abroad, and yeah, it would just be nice if you want to do that. And I'll tell you why, because we're going to move on after I point out that I am going to grade for my third Dan in December because I'm eligible. So there's going to be a point between May and probably October when my brain shifts to more technical analytical side of martial arts, but big competing year regardless. We don't stop competing, especially as a black belt, because that's sort of where I shine, and that's what you could talk about in the theory element of your grading. But because of all this stuff I'm going to do, I spent a lot of money. So this is my Taekwondo bag. So this is a Taekwondo bag that says ITC Squad, International Taekwondo Council. Now this is a squad that doesn't actually exist anymore due to some political reasons I'm not going to go into. It's got a sponsor on the other side, which is lfwwindows.co.uk. I got to tell you, I've owned this bag a lot of years. I haven't actually checked out the website. But I know that people have read it because I've heard people reading it off my bag before, so you know, that's good. But the squad negotiated that, not me. I've got a little Quan keychain here with a little embroidered logo, which is another thing I won from a competition. I think I won it from an online competition, and they sent it as like a little merch, and I like that it has a gold sparkly. And then on the other side, I have my own keychain that I design and are available via dibdabdigital.com, and I'm probably going to make them available on Upgrade Chat, but it's a less robust e-commerce system there. I would like to eventually be able to use the monetization from my content on this channel to fund hosting a proper website so I can actually have proper martial arts merch there, but that's a later question. This bag was given to me because I was on the ITC squad. I resigned a couple of years after that for reasons that I won't go into. But it's a bit awkward because the first time I took it out, first time ever, the shoulder strap snapped, which you can see here. Not just snapped, fully, like there's a hole here. Like I can feel my equipment if I poke through it, like it ripped. It was bad. The person who provided it, I messaged them right away and I went, "Sir, it's broken. Please can I have another one?" And he said, "Yes." And then it never happened. So for multiple years, I have been dealing with a sparring bag that I can't put over my shoulder. And well, I can, but I have to put it over my shoulder like this, which is not only not good for my hair, because it's pulling on it. Even when I tie it up, it might pull on it. But it falls down constantly. It's not good for your posture. It's not good for a fighter to have bad posture like that. And it was a pain in the butt. But regardless, this is the bag I've had. It's not in my brand colours, it was in the squad colours. It's a bit ratty now, it's very worn through. I have had more worn through ones where like it's a visible hole in the bottom, so this has survived better at least. You can see where it's been like roughed up a bit on the bottom. It had legs that were supposed to keep it up, but like they're not very thick, to be honest. They've got almost no height on them. And they didn't really like actually keep it off the floor. It was more like just for show to stop it tearing in that instance and kind of like stop it from being kicked about easily. That's a really harsh critique of the bag. It's lasted me well. I've used it for many years. I'm just comparing it to what is sat next to it over there. So in this bag, I have a lot of things, but I'm going to focus on the main gear on the inside. We've got loads of little bits, but this isn't a what's in my bag video. But I'll show you the crux of what I'm working with here. The problem item is the helmet, and you will see that it is very unceremoniously taped because this helmet is so old that it has reached the point where if you made even slight contact with it, it would fall off my head. And it wouldn't just fall off my head, the strap would become undone because the Velcro is so worn through. I've like hook and looped it so much that it's like torn, and now the strap just falls out of place. So we've had to tape it, but I'm going to come up to the camera to show you this. It was almost redundant if I taped it, because even if the neck strap stays on, the actual crux of it is crumbling away because it's really cheap dipped foam. And I'm not going to know if I've come close enough to show you this until like the latency catches up. So I'm just going to hold it there for a minute at a few various angles. I don't think any referee has ever actually noticed this. I know a particular referee who would have lost his shit if he did, and probably wouldn't have allowed me to fight. I've just barely gotten away with this sort of, like, you can see the foam inside. But like the dipped foam is like the cheapest type of sparring equipment that you sort of get as baby's first sparring gear. And it's fine, it works. Like this thing, I've had this helmet since I became an adult and came back to training after a 5-year gap. So, like, it's fine. But it's not the strongest, it's pretty flimsy, it's got the least lifespan of it, and it just looks a little cheap. It looks a little cheap. So, as well as the crack actually on the hinge, on like the jawline, there's also a very definitive crack down the center of the visor, and there's another one over here, and then I saw another thing as well. Where'd it go? There, wait. There it is, there's another crack here on the back of the helmet. And it's just generally like pretty worn through. You can see the creases. Oh, there's another crack on the other side of the chair. I didn't even notice. So fundamentally, the helmet's falling apart. And you can't even say like, oh, just guard your head better. Because like, this just happens from you putting it on over time. And I've had to sort of like slam it over like a motorcycle helmet as well. I'm not going to ruin my hair right now because I have training tomorrow and I'll ruin it tomorrow. So yeah, the helmet was the main driving force of, I can't really compete anymore until I have a new helmet. And that was like a real problem. I've been told off multiple times, like, get a new helmet. And it was really ironic because I have a friend from BCMA Liam. He got a new helmet of his own, and I think it was boxing regulations, so it didn't have any padding on the top, and he was almost disqualified from an event until I lent him my helmet, and it's like, my helmet's getting me disqualified, but you can wear it. So that was quite funny. So yeah, so that's the main one. My gloves are still, like, they're actually in working condition still. It's just a bit ratty. Like, the logo's coming off. It says GBTF, which is my club's organisation that we're in. It's like a collection of independent instructors in the Northwest and Yorkshire a bit. GBTF there, coming off. The Velcro's all right. The labels looks fucking disgusting because for some reason, like, it just over time, it absorbs sweat in the air no matter how much you wash it. Like, the gloves are still in working order. I might keep these. So I'm sort of like, this is a gear update video, as you might have judged by the title. But I'm probably going to keep the gloves as backups because you never throw away functional gear. There's no cracks in it. There was like a little coating of like fake leather over the fabric in here, which over time has worn away and like it looks less pristine, but like it functionally still works. Velcro on this side is stronger. Because like I am right-handed, so I'll inherently strike more with my right hand, but like obviously we use both hands, but you know, this one's a little bit better. This one's still got a little more like, it's kind of coming off there, like you can see maybe just pull that away, and that's sort of what we're dealing with. But the fabric underneath doesn't have any holes, so that's the gloves. My boots, this is an interesting one that causes controversy. So I hate toe loops. I don't really wear toe loops. My instructor Mick has a horror story about a guy whose entire toe nail was pulled off of his big toe because he was told to put his toe loop in, and then it like got kicked at an angle that like pulled it up off the fit. Because like if somehow someone kicks and they get stuck between your boot and your toe, then that's just gonna like pull at the toe, and if your toenail is not even a little bit overhanging, which like sometimes you don't even notice, that's just gonna go. So you can see, I'll come up close again. So you can see here where my toes, because you pull your toes back when you're kicking, so the sort of the force is imparted through here. So you can see that it's like wearing away, and you can just barely see under the, I don't want to say leather, it doesn't feel leather bound, but maybe it's like a fake leather. You can feel it coming through there, and it's a bit ratty. Toe loops are intact because I don't wear them, and less forced to. That's kind of folded over and a bit grotty, but it's fine. But then the inseam, I don't know if you can see this from that angle, but the inseam of the boot is completely split. So it's like fully exposed foam, because I'm quite violent. This is sort of a spoiler for a story I'm going to tell you in a minute, but like I'm medium, and I bought medium shoes, I think. Yeah, these are medium shoes, aren't they? Yeah, they say medium on them. So these are a medium, and like my toe sometimes was at risk of poking out here when this is the toe loop. So you'd think your toe should be here, right? But sometimes my toe is like right at the top, and I was like, am I a medium? So that's the condition of the boot. The other boot is pretty similar. They call them kicks boots for obvious reasons. This one's not got a split inseam, and the rattiness isn't as intense. But this is actually, I think, is this the one I wear on my right side? Yeah, this is the one I wear on my right side. So this one doesn't get as much standing, pivoting leg movement. Okay. Shins, just completely cracked down the middle. Like entire, like you can see it. I'm sure you must be able to see it. Like right here, there's a strip, and down this entire side, there's a strip of exposed foam. Logos are coming off of it. On this one, I've only got the O in a little circle, which I'm assuming was once a head of some character. This one's torn even worse. Like the crack is like, it's cracked so much on this side that this is actually starting to expand. It's losing its curvature. So it's like more flat there. A little bit will be due to how it's packed in the bag, because I've got so much gear that it's a bit overstuffed. Like this is a standard duffel size that most Taekwondo bags have, and it's designed for like one set of kits. But over time, I've accumulated multiple sets of kit, as we'll get into, which we're actually into that now. So these are some Mahusive gloves I have. I got them for my first freestyle competition. They are the ugliest things in the world because I only realized I needed different regulation gloves the week before I went. Did I just hit the microphone? I only found out I needed different regulation gloves the week before I went. I knew open palm were going to cut it. So I think these are, it says on the label, let me get it, I'll find it. I think they're 16. No, they're 14. These are 14 ounces. And I'm just gonna say, I've used these once, like maybe a couple times for practice, but the stitching is visible and coming out here. That is atrocious. I'm not saying I got the best quality in the world, but that's terrible. It's like the whole seam is just popping out. Like they're still usable, but ew. Like I barely touch these things. Like they don't even stink. So yeah, so these are gloves that I'm still keeping, but I have so many variants of gear that I just keep in the bag because I don't know what's going to happen when I get to a competition. Then I'm going to go, oh no, we don't use that type of glove. Like, you always read the rules, but people don't keep their documentation updated. And sometimes it's a case of, oh, your opponent doesn't have what we need, so do you have anything else? So as long as you match, you know? Because sometimes I end up going to a straight final when there's not a lot of people there. Is this one equally buggered? Stitching's visible on that one, not as bad. And then this pair are a pair I won for winning ITC Competitor of the Year, which is ITC, this group. I won Competitor of the Year the first year they ran it, and I have a little secret goal because they have a plaque where they have little plates of everyone who won it. So I'm on the first plate, and I have to keep track of it because they sometimes have a tie, so they sometimes have two in a row because like they match points or something. So I want to be the last person on the plaque as well, so maybe have a vague hope of, like they'll probably keep it, but like just in case I kind of want it, so I got to keep an eye on that. But I won, and these are Torpex, which is a brand name by Master Afzal, who's really cool, and I fought his daughter once, and she was a very difficult opponent. I can't remember I feel like she did beat me. I think she beat me, maybe? I don't know. I know that there was an event where they had a little booth for Torpex, and she was working it and she wasn't fighting. I was like, oh no, why are you not fighting? And then he was like, you better win. I was like, I will. And then he didn't realize I was the one who owned these gloves when he told me that. But I tagged him later to be like, got a gold, sir. And he's like, great. So yeah, these are a 12 ounce. They're very pretty. I don't have enough chance to use 12 ounces. The one pair of gloves I don't have is a 10 ounce. And I keep getting asked for 10 ounces, so apparently I'm gonna have to buy a 10 ounce pair or like win it or something. These are in great condition because I've only used them for practice, and I don't use them that much because I prefer less coverage. I prefer open palm to like a sealed glove. Plus you need someone else to close these for you. But they are beautiful and I want to use them more, and they're in very good nick. Then I have the set of gear I bought purely for my Olympic trials, which is WT gear. This stuff doesn't take up much space, but the problem is it's a lot flimsier by comparison, and it just sort of falls to the bottom of the bag. It's actually due a wash because some of the bag is getting a little torn, and I'm pretty sure the dirt is getting in. So these are my feet. They're more like socks than anything. I love the feel of this equipment because it feels like you're not wearing equipment. The coverage is obviously inherently less intense, but I like it. Check, we're still doing good on battery, yeah. So I've got this stuff, and it's a little worn away on like the white there, so it's really flimsy. So I've got the feet. Where is it? Where's the other foot? Got the other foot here. That one's somehow got some leather that's like torn away, or like fake leather or something. These are actually due a wash. That is gross. They're gonna get washed. And then I have hands, which I've trained with these a little bit. If I were to like do, honestly, like they have the foam bar here that I don't even remember existing. That is like, that I've got some more stuff that's a foam bars too. These are sort of equivalent to quick wraps, in that it's like a glove, but it's not a glove. So it's like a quick wrap that you put on, and it's got like a little bit of foam paneling here, and it's covered in leather. But some of this is just like mesh fabric. That kind of feels like styrofoam in the thumb, which is interesting. And then it's got the foam bar here that you like close around, supposedly so you don't break your fingers. But in my opinion, I feel like it's just a bit obstructive. But I do like the feel of this gear. I've not had a chance to wear it since I did my Olympic trials because it's WT style, it's a different regulation. These are the official ones. I got official WT gear for my trials. Just once I'm tempted to like enter a WT event just to see what would happen. But it's an entirely different style, and what I learned from my trials is I don't really enjoy that style too much. Like, I couldn't make myself care. Plus, I hate wearing hogus. They have, like, no equipment on the limbs, but then the hogu is, like, I couldn't kick my axe kick to full extension because it was literally blocking me, and it was like, okay, well, this sucks. So, yeah, they've got those. And then the one thing I fucking hate, groin guard. I bought my, again, this is disgusting because it's just sunk to the bottom of the bag. What is that? That is so gross. I don't even know how you clean that. Yeah, so like the one time I ever wore a groin guard was for my Olympic trials because they told us I had to. And like, I guess it was okay, but I wouldn't do it. I've taken crotch shots and I found it less obstructive than wearing this weird nappy thing. And then got a brilliant story about these things. These are forearm guards. I've used them more in training than I have in competition, and I'll tell you for why. Because I went to a competition with Puma, And I got a double gold that day, and it was an amazing event, and I need to go to more Puma events because they always change their medal design, which is amazing. Keep doing that, please. So I went there, and I found out on the day, because I read all their rules, and I found out on the day that it's supposedly you needed forearm guards. Why is that black? Ugh, that's gross. Luckily, the foam like comes off the sock thing. I can just stick in the washer. But I got told you need forearm guards, and I was like, I don't own forearm guards. I don't have them. I have all this gear, and I don't have forearm guards. So like my glove is pretty like long as well. So like the gauntlet comes down to like halfway down my forearm anyway. So like I barely have anything to cover after that, to be honest. But they were like, you need to have forearm guards. So I went to the table, and I was extorted for the price of these little cheap. These are the cheapest type you can get. And I was charged £15 for them. I bought them reluctantly because I was already there, like in, was it Chippenham or Cheltenham? I don't know. It was south. It was somewhere south that would begin with a ch noise. Or was it even? Maybe I'm getting that mixed up. It was south. I was down south. I'd stayed overnight. And I was like, right, I'm going to win these medals. And then when I got to the mat, because they called us, then they focused on my gloves. They were like, oh, you don't wear those gloves. You don't want those gloves. You need different regulation. I don't actually remember what the different gloves were because they were still open palm. So I don't know what was different. They were like, here, wear our gloves. So they gave me different gloves, and then it didn't make me wear the forearm guards. So I just have these, and now they live in the bag. And that's the main compartment done. These little bits have like various things, like my belt's in here. I do tend to store a breaker board in here, but I stopped doing that recently because the strap was just like falling apart and it was really bothering me and it was making the whole thing misbalanced. But like I like to carry a breaker board just in case it becomes usable. It's over there right now. I'm not sure if I'm going to put it back in to my bag for the flight because it's very heavy. Probably won't do that. And then I've got like my license and stuff and my gum shield and a little first aid kit that I travel around with. And I've got an ice pack I've never used because like most injuries, you're not actually supposed to ice it to benefit it. You're supposed to get blood circulation. Icing it is to numb it out to stop you from feeling pain, but it actually has been proven that it inhibits healing in a lot of cases. So yeah, I've got all those little bits. Gum shield here. Pretty ugly gum shield, but you know what it's there for. Yeah, I'm gonna put that in the pile, and then all the other little bits can go to the side for a minute. Where am I gonna put it? I'm gonna put it over here. So, conclusion of the old bag, things we're gonna throw out, not the bag itself, because it's very sentimental, not gonna lie, it's gonna become the overflow bag. I'm gonna keep the gloves of my main set, of the GBTF set, keeping all the unusual gear because it's barely used and is pretty much in good nick. Just going to give it a good wash. I want to replace the gum shield. Yes, it's a bit old and grotty, that is a part of it, but mainly because I bought a new gum shield for MMA just because I wanted it to match. And I just wish I got a second one. My friend is Levas again. He's like a very consistent character in my day. But he gets industry discount for me for stuff because he has a club and he also has like vendor accounts with all the big brands. Whereas I want to in the future when I get my website sorted, but in the interim, there's no point in me doing all that palaver. So he gets it for me pretty much at cost, and then he will buy what I want so I can have it pretty much at cost or with a discount, and then he'll sell the rest that he has in stock as like a minimum order quantity. So I got a gum shield, which I'll show you in a minute. I kind of just wish I got a second one because he bought a bundle of 5. So now I need someone in Manchester to order another one so I can be like, hey, just slip mine in the order and like send them both here and I'll sort it. Like, so if anyone wants a matching gum shield with me in a minute, I'll show you the one that you can have. So that's all the gear that's on the way out and stuff I'm keeping, and like that's done, right? New equipment. So we'll start off with the least new thing, which is a pair of Adidas. They're actually World Taekwondo regulation, but these is like inconsequential. The Adidas Shin guards got a weird little stain of red on them. They come with matching forearm guards, but maybe I'll swap those out. I don't think they actually fit me. I got these because I have a friend who works on cruises, and he's a PT, that's how I know him. He is a pretty good friend of mine, I would say. And he has done an interview. He's done a With Respect episode before. And and he works on cruises. So he has a storage unit where he keeps loads of stuff. And he was clearing it out recently and discovered he had a lot of old gear and some gear that he bought just because I invited him to a competition once. He actually fought some of my friends, Francis, and I don't know if he fought someone else I know with, it was another guy. But he got bronze in his first Taekwondo competition. He just registered himself as a black belt, bought a dobok, from the same guy who made the ITC squad bag. And he does have black belts, just in karate. So he signed himself up and got a bronze, but he bought this safety gear just at Decathlon. I'm pretty sure this is too big for me. Maybe. It's in better nick than the foam monstrosities. Maybe this can go in the overflow. Yeah, so these are the forearm guards, but the shin guards, I actually love these shin guards. I like these shin guards better than the shin guards I currently have because they're instead of foam dipped, they're sort of like plasticky leather bound, and they're just a bit more sturdy, and you can bend them a bit more, and they just like feel better and firmer. I did actually put these on and kick this at one point. And I'm not saying you should ever kick metal with your shin, but it was good, it went well. So he's literally only used these once, and he gave me this gear, and he gave me basically his payment for allowing him to sleep on my couch so consistently and still all my coffee, which, like, Jesus Christ, the man drinks coffee. He does replace it sometimes, I'll say, but like as payment for allowing him to sort of freeload on me sometimes when he's between contracts, he gave me a bunch of sparring gear. He gave me this stuff, which I'm using, and he gave me a full set of red gear from Bolton Dragons, where he used to train, which I'm pretty sure he must have had it from when he was a child, because it doesn't fit me, and I know it would fit him now. So that's overflow gear for me, but I'm going to keep these, and this is perfect because of the gear I actually wanted to get. So there is a brand called Fight Store UK, which is run by a guy who went to university for graphic design or art or something like that. I forget his name right now. I did know his name. I feel bad. Look it up, Google it. And he is also a martial artist, so he decided to combine those two passions to make a martial arts design equipment thing. And there's a set of purple gear with some stars on it, which is very close to my branding, and I love that. And the helmet looks really good. It's like a really like firm leather bound, but it's like in purple, and it's got gloves and it's got boots, and it's out of stock. And I messaged them months ago, like maybe in September or something, to be like, hey, I really want this gear. Like, I searched the whole internet. You know how hard it is to find purple equipment? You can find red, you can find blue, you can find black. If you're doing one for the girlies, then you can find pink. But the only thing that has a variety of designs is gloves, and like nothing else. Nothing else is creative, and it really upset me. But this one is like really close to my branding, so I was like, hello, I've spent months looking for equipment that is cohesive and in a nice design that I actually want to spend my money on, because I'm sick of the bare minimum stuff. I've done the bare minimum, I've done the whatever I can get a hold of at the moment. I want nice equipment now that I can walk in and feel like the protagonist I am destined to be in the sports anime that is my life. So I decided, I messaged them, we had a little chat. It was a bit of an infuriating chat because it seemed like he didn't understand me at first, but then we got the message across and I was like, hello, please, can I have this? And he was like, sorry, our manufacturer does not have this material in this colour. And I was like, do you know when you're going to get it back in stock? And they were like, no. And I was like, okay, like, is there any hope before Christmas? Because like, I really got some stuff going on at Christmas I would really like to do. And they're like, no, we don't know. We have no way of knowing. And now we're here in January, still not back in stock. So while I wait for that, they've restocked other stuff as well. So like, I'm finding myself Googling, like, is there a purple shortage in the manufacturing or the ink world or like leather material? I don't know. I looked it all up. There's no sign of any conspiracy, but it feels like there is one. So they're out of stock. And I was like, right, I cannot wait anymore. I need new equipment, but I'm not getting shit equipment again. I refuse. So I spent forever looking for stuff that is both Taekwondo regulation, which is different to a lot of other sports. Like, it's not an ounced glove like this one. It's an open palm glove. And then it's a kick boot, which is separate to an instep guard where it's just the front shin coverage and then just the front of the foot. It's different to that. I've recently learned that karate regulation stuff has like our style gear, but the back of the shoe folds open so you can sort of step into it, and you can separate the boot from the shin, or you can merge it together like an instep guard that just has a backing. But I don't like that, and it still looks horrendous. So I was like, okay, I need stuff that fits the regulation. So we need the boots, we need the open palm gloves, and then we need a helmet that has skull coverage, because we learned from other people's mistakes. There are some events where I've seen people, like there's footage of them being allowed to wear boxing style headgear, which just like covers this sort of ring around you, because they're not really doing any downwards motions, but we do like axe kick, downwards punch. There's loads of like downward strike sort of things in Taekwondo. So I needed stuff that was like that, and I needed it to be purple, and I wanted a matching set. So we hit a lot of those, but Jesus, it was a problem. So we'll start with the gloves. That's the shoes. We'll start with the gloves, which are right at the bottom of the bag. So I can't remember where I bought these from right now. When I edit this into a much more concise video, I will put links to everything in the description. But these are gloves that have matching shoes. They did not have a matching helmet, and they did not have shin guards, but because shin guards are hidden, I was less anal about needing to have matching shin guards because they go under my trousers. So that's fine, really. So that's why that works. Now, this is not the shade of purple I would normally choose. It's a bit more maroony. Like, you can kind of tell if I just hold up the contrast. You can kind of see the difference I'm working with. It's not really violet. I wouldn't even say it's lilac. I would say it's kind of maroon. But they've got a honeycomb design that I'll come closer to show you, like that. And what's the design say? It says Pro Fighter Edition. Oh, it's FF. What is FF? Fighting? No, it's not Fighting Fit. That's the gym. Fighting Form. I don't know. There's the word fight in there. It's not like professional fight. No, it's not. I'll remember and I'll get there and I'll tell you. It says designed and tested in the USA, which tells you where I bought them from. Now, there are places in the UK where you can order these from, but they come with like royalties and like some more shipping tax and all that sort of stuff. They bake all of the increased pricing things in. They bake that all into the pricing, and then shipping costs a bomb as well. But because of the fact that I was ordering them and also a helmet from a separate place, I decided to order it all from America, because it all did. They all came from America. I'm pretty sure the helmet was only available in America, if I'm remembering this correctly. So I have a friend who's in one of my Discord servers who lives in Georgia, which my name is Georgia, but it's also a state in the South of America. Is it? Yeah, South America. Not South America, but a southern state of America. Georgia. He lives there, near Florida. And we sort of made a deal that I would get everything shipped at its cheaper rate to his house, because I think it was the helmets specifically that really decided it, but these also like had a thing where if you ordered it from America to have it shipped to the UK, it had a blanket flat rate for shipping, and that rate was under the assumption that you were buying like a big bulk pack of like 20 sets to go to a club, because why would anyone buy equipment for themselves? It's your instructor's job, isn't it? Not like I wanted to choose what I wanted. And then, so it went all shipped to his house, and then he works at FedEx, right? So I was like, you can get a FedEx discount, can't you? But he has 2 jobs, and he was like completely overrun with the festive period, so he instead was like, I can go to USPS and I can get it cheaper there. And I'm like, can you? Don't know if you can. Don't really trust that. But you're doing me a favor. You're receiving this for me. You're packaging it all together, and you're sending it on to an international shipper. Like, I've given this man a chore, and he's helping me out very significantly, and he knows this. So, like, he's operating on 4 hours of sleep in between 2, like, 10 to 12-hour shifts during rush season for both the industries he works in. So when he said, I'm going to ship it from USPS, I'm here at the USPS office, it costs more than you would have been charged if you had it ordered to you directly. Then I just say, yes, okay, send it, thank you, great, can I have the receipt number? And then we just hope that I can offset that against some earned money on my taxes later, which is what we're aiming to do. So again, I call on you, any sponsors want a very reputable fighter to plug them a bit, then that would be great. So yeah, so I got the honeycomb design, and this is another issue, right? So these are my stopgap measure gloves. So the fact that it's not my favorite design in the world is fine. But because I was ordering from America and I did that sort of in-betweeny, not direct-to-consumer shipping options, returning really wasn't a choice. and I looked at the sizing guides, and I always know that I'm a large helmet. I'm like the biggest helmet possible because for some reason I have a massive head. I have to accept that about myself. I got bullied for having a big forehead in school to the point that I was getting smacked by people who did it so consistently and so quickly. I still don't know who they are because I never saw them because I was on recoil before they ran away. Literally still don't know. But I've just accepted that. So I'm always a large, extra large helmet. My equipment here is medium, but I was quite literally busting out of the seams of it. So I'm like, maybe it's actually just a little on the small side for me. So we go by the sizing guides and I'm right on the boundary, but like on a couple of the dimensions, I'm really firmly over the boundary into large. So I'm like, okay, I divvied on it a bit. I even got to like the final page of ordering it before I ordered it. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna go back and check. So I ended up ordering the large. Now if I'm gonna put these on for you, and I can say they fit. I'm wearing them, I can close a fist, but you see a little bit of curvature, you know? You see a little, and like, for some reason, like if I put my fingers in, because they're open palms, it's called open palm because your palm is open. I don't know what angle to show this at the camera like that. But like you can see that my fingers aren't actually like fully dug in and embedded in it. And I just want to compare this to my other glove as I like wear this. So, and if I do it on this one, it feels like my pointer finger is fully immersed in this glove. My thumb is actually like, my thumb is barely in it. My thumb is barely in there. And like all fighting equipment is unisex, which is code for it's made for men. Am I cropped? Like unisex means men's bodies, right? It's like, even if they have a model that's a woman, you know it's made for men. And even looking at them side by side, they look really similar sizes. It's just like, but like, I just feel like this is a bit too big. Like it feels like my pinky's gonna come out, even though looking at it, more of my pinky is exposed here. And part of me is like, is this just new equipment? I've just not had new equipment for a while. Just new equipment feels more awkward. It's like shoes, you have to break it in. And this is in fact a better quality item than my usual equipment. So is it just that I need to meld it to my shape more and get it broken in? I don't know. But because of this, it makes me a bit nervous because I have a month to break it in, which is like 4 classes and any additional training I do myself. But like, it fits me, it's not going to come off. I have no concern about this flying off me in a fight, you know? Like, I'm no worry about it. But I'm worried. But this is like a stopgap measure equipment anyway, but this is just what we're doing. So this is here, these are my gloves. Comes with a nice little net mesh bag, which I imagine over time I will abandon for inconvenience, but it's nice to have it. Put that over there for now. Same goes for the shoes. We have the same debacle for the shoes. And I can't really demonstrate with the shoes because like I'm wearing my slipper boots and I can take these off, but I also have tights on and it's really cold. Like I'm frozen. Like I've got candles and I'm moving around and I'm layered up in my living room. It's like I'm cold. So the same debacle with the shoes. I'm a medium here, but I was literally bursting out of the seams of it. And like also your toe loop. So with the measurements, it measured where your toe loop is and it gave you a separate measurement for the end of the boot. Now for safety reasons, your toes should not protrude beyond the end of the boot because of toenails and sharpness and it might snag. For some reason, a lot of people who wear Instep Guards ignore this. And I see people who have whole ass toes hanging out. And I'm like, I guess you're protecting the top of your foot, but you're really not protecting your opponent. If you go for a head kick, you gouge their eye out with your manky ass toenails. Like that's a whole thing. So the toe loop is here. And as we've established, I don't really wear them. But I'm measured to where the toe loop should be because that's where your toe should be. Even if I don't actually lock in on the toe loop, that's where your toe should be. So I got the large. And again, like I might just take it off on this. Oh yeah, weird little side tangent. All boots I've ever seen have a single strip of thing there and it's attached, right? But this one is actually not attached and it's got double-sided Velcro. So like maybe it's in case you want to replace the strap before the boot wears out. But that was really jarring to me. This has FF on it as well. Yeah, because it's the same brand obviously. So yeah, so I'll put the boot on and now I actually felt the toe loop as I brought to it. So like if I take the toe loop off and then wrap myself in, where am I? What side am I on? New gear takes getting used to. Right, okay, right. So I wrap myself in as tight as we go. And my foot is covered. I don't know if you can see it. My foot is covered like that. And it just feels like my toe is more exposed. Like it doesn't feel like it's stuck to me. So like that's kind of why you should wear the toe loop as well. Like I might be forced into wearing the toe loop is what I'm saying, because I feel like it might be a bit big. And again, it's not gonna come off me. Like, that's not even a kick. What am I doing? It's not gonna fall off me, but it just doesn't feel right. But again, is it just because it's new? We don't know. So we'll work it out. And this double Velcro, I'm not vibing with the double Velcro. I'm not in love with it. Like, this isn't an accurate product review yet because I've not even trained in it once yet. I'm doing that tomorrow for the first time, which is why I'm recording this now. But I'm a skeptic. I'm nervous. But that's the same thing. So that's the same thing for both of those. And I'm putting the boot back on here because, oh my God, it's cold. And I'm sat on the floor and I'm on gym flooring, which is more insulative than the actual floor, but it's still not warm. We have my helmet, which if I get my glove, you'll notice, is an incredible colour match, but this is not part of a set. I found this helmet, I dug it out, and even though I'm proud of that, this one actually has the brand. This is Cruzak. This is a Cruzak branded helmet. So I saw this, and because it's not very rounded at the top, I was worried it didn't meet regulation, and I got my friend to like feel it, and I was like, feel that there is padding there, and like there's the purple padding here, and then internally you can also feel there's another layer of like black, really like thick padding. So this is protected as per Taekwondo regulations. And then even on the inside here, there's like really thick protection. Like technically speaking, this is the safest helmet I've ever owned. But I hate these little cheek guards. This is adjustable, which everyone tells me is a perk, but I don't really like it. It's got a cushion on the back as well. Does this Velcro come off? Yeah, it double Velcros. Maybe that's why it felt so tight earlier, because I didn't double Velcro it, I only one Velcroed it. Makes it easier to put the thing on, I'll tell you that. But like, if I just, so like, my hair's in my face. All right, okay. Normally your hair would be tied up for this. This is also a problem, but like my chin strap is done. The chin strap, it by all definitions is less flimsy, but it's thinner, so my head doesn't like it. So I put this on, and then I have to accept that my cheeks are covered, and then we hold the top down. Let's see. Like putting this on my own, like I'm gonna need someone to help me adjust this, and then I'm just gonna keep it the same. So then I can just like push it in. So yeah, we close that, and then we close this, and then that's like where I am. And I hate this because I have amazing peripheral vision. So I can see that my peripheral vision is being blocked. I can see the end of my helmet. I should be able to see beyond that. So like when I'm doing reverse kicks, my vision is impeded, and I don't like it. So I'm gonna have to practice in it. And I hate the feeling of my face being trapped. Like I know it's technically safer, but I feel encumbered and I don't like it. Where's the chin strap? Like maybe if I loosen that a bit, maybe, but then like it wants to tighten up again. Maybe that's a little better. It's technically better that it's more adjustable, but like also I don't like it. So like, I don't know. I'm gonna look at this footage back and think I look stupid, but no one looks great in sparring gear. My own voice is muffled from the inside of this helmet, so that tells me how padded it is. But yeah, so yeah, take this off. Yeah. I didn't want to ruin my hair. Ugh. And I put it on janky. So how do I put this on my own without ruining it? If your coach has to dress you, I just don't like that. But I'm gonna have a sit down with my coach either tomorrow or during another session before Belgium to be like, how do I wear my equipment, basically? Like I gotta break it in. Like it's really firm. It's good, it's protective, right? But I'm not thrilled about it. And I can't wait for the Fight Store UK stuff to be back in stock. I beg of you, harass them. Apparently I'm not the only person on this waiting list waiting for it, but like please, someone somewhere, please get it. Because it's more on brand for me and I just know I'll feel more comfortable because it doesn't have the cheek guards. It's just got like a window like that. Like, we hope. We're gonna move over to MMA. So I am doing a course called Ultra MMA in this year from February when I come back from competing in Belgium to April, the week of my birthday. Ultra MMA requires different equipment to my standard Taekwondo regulation equipment. They have different rules. This bag I had originally bought to be my new Taekwondo bag because I wanted it to be cuter than my old grotty squad bag, which is falling apart and isn't in my brand colours. And when I bought this, I read that it was between 80 and 100 litres because I knew I needed it to be big because I needed it to fill all my overflow of equipment that is outside my regulation as well as my standard set. But when it came, it was from AliExpress and I couldn't even make my computer work to be able to order it. I had to do it for my friend Levas, who is such a consistent person in my life at this point for equipment sourcing, that he ordered it for me on his account, and then it came and it was a lot smaller than it claimed to be. It's still gorgeous, but it's been delegated to the MMA bag because it's too small for even my regular set of equipment, let alone my regular set of equipment plus my backup gloves. So it's cool because it's purple. It's the best shade of purple. It's got this pocket here, which we don't even know what we're going to use these pockets for yet, but they are two separate pockets. Maybe snacks can go in there. They got the buckles, which I think look really cool. And then you'll notice the other pocket is sideways. I'll probably, I was going to put a belt in here, but I feel like a belt wouldn't actually fit. So we'll just work out what these pockets are as we get necessity. As well as the little snaps, it also has a zipper because it's sideways here. But when it's not sideways, you can actually unzip this flap and pull out some things to turn it into a backpack. There's other buckles wedged under here, but I have no desire to take them out right now. But it's very multifunctional, and I really like that about it, especially because when I'm going to MMA, I'm not going to need as much equipment, so I can decide if I want to have it on my shoulder or if I want to have it on my back. It's also got a little luggage loop here, which is becoming very common on most bags now. We will learn later that this is actually not as wide as I need it to be, but it doesn't matter. There's also a little tiny pocket here, which could maybe fit a gum shield, could maybe fit phone, business cards, like a little something small. If you were traveling with this, which I'm not going to be, or I don't intend to be, but if you were traveling with this, you could put your passport in there. And it has a shoulder strap, which says Yumai on it, which is the brand, and it clips on and off, which is a lot better than my shoulder strap that snapped on my old squad bag. It does come off, there we go. You can adjust it, but right now it's a pretty comfortable length for me, so I'm not going to adjust it. And then it has a larger side pocket, which has an elasticated thing here, which is normally where people put water bottles or snacks or something, something that's less vulnerable. And then it's got a slightly bigger pocket here, which is described as the shoe pocket, but like when the bag's full, it's not depthy enough to really be a shoe pocket unless I had my like barefoot shoes, which are barely any material at all. It's just a sole and a little stretchy fabric. So that's really cute. I like that. And then if I open up the handles, which come down here, we open up the bag to reveal my MMA equipment. Now, before we go into all this, I have a little bit of a culture issue with the likes of MMA, Muay Thai, boxing, the non-traditional martial arts. I just prefer a more traditional environment in the dojang, a bit more formality, yes sir, no ma'am, bowing, walking in and out and stuff. And I'm not saying these arts don't do that. It's just there's a lot less of significance placed upon it. So like I'm a big nerd for the tenets of Taekwondo, which is courtesy, integrity, perseverance, self-control, and indomitable spirit. And obviously it's not everyone, obviously. But there are a lot of people in these environments that don't really bow by that culture, and sometimes it's just lads, lads, lads. Sometimes it's just like, oh, I'm just gonna whack 'em, mate. And like the whole I'd be here or in prison mentality, and it's like, why? Do you not just enjoy it to enjoy it, and like you like the sport and you enjoy combat and the adrenaline, and like that's cool. But like, I don't really vibe with that sort of thing as much. But it does bring with it an environment which I imagine might like aid my more flamboyant side, like I don't know how to describe it. So like in Taekwondo, I want to stand out. I like being at a competition, especially. I like being the antagonist energy because I'm here to cause everyone else problems and walk away with all the medals. But like with a thing like Ultra MMA, which is designed to be a performance more so than a competition, it's like one-on-one fights, there's like a headliner, it's a black tie event, you turn up, you donate to charity, it's a bit bougie, they've got VIP tables instead of just an endless churn of parents and competitors and instructors moving around a very busy leisure centre. It's a whole different vibe, but I feel like the sort of people who sign up for that, because I didn't necessarily sign up for it of my own volition, it was from my friend Salem, I feel like the sort of people who sign up for that enjoy a bit of gravitas and they will appreciate my unrelenting desire to have everything be on brand. So this bag is purple to match my branded purple, and so is every piece of equipment I bought. We're going to start with my babies, which I'm very excited about, which are my Instep Guards, and I love them, and I spent a reasonable amount of money on them, and they are thicker than I had ever imagined they would be, which I will bring them close to the camera in a minute. They have a little tiger design on them, which I can't remember the exact word for it, but it was something to do with like the Hindu Buddhist culture, or maybe I looked into it previously. There's like actual lore, and it's almost like protective sigils, but maybe in Sanskrit or like some sort of Hindi language, I can't remember, but there's like a historical cultural reason behind it, so my nerd gets to shine out anyway while it looks really awesome. Got these from Playwell through Levis's industry account. Honestly, they're so thick, I forget because I put them away. I'm going to show you. So like, these are really good quality. This might be the best quality equipment I've ever bought, from how, like you knock on it. So you can see the pattern there, but you can see it's got like the raised sections where it's thicker, but then also inside, it's also really thick. I don't know how well you can tell with the blackness of it, but like, it's got like triple depth. Like if I put it on, like I might put it on. I'll put it on for you. Which side is this? This is the right side. Okay, so if I put it on, then if I take my boot off, and it's kind of awkward. I don't really like these sort of guards for the feel of them, but you know, I'll practice in them, I'll get used to them. There's like 3 sessions a week for 2 months that I can get used to them. So you sort of slide into it. Ooh. And then I have to get past that one. And the feet parts are elasticated, so I don't need to worry about toe loops for that. Then we tighten it around the shin. And like, just look at how much, like how separated it is from my leg. That's not a sizing issue, that's padding. There's so much padding, like it's separate from my body. And then you do that, and I say this was the right side, it really feels like the left side. And it also feels like the strap is sort of grating on my Achilles when I pull it back, so maybe I'm gonna need to learn how to loosen this a little so it has more flex. There we go, that's better, that's better. I do wonder, because these are attached, how does it respond to a side kick? So like the foot sword can still, I wanna just hold it. I'm not warmed up at all, I've been dead on my legs. The foot sword can still angle without like bending that in a weird way, I guess. Do you know the unfortunate thing is I'm gonna wear this for all the training, and I don't think they're gonna let me wear it for the actual fight, because they want everyone to have the blue corner, the red corner, all that sort of stuff. But I am the purple corner, and hopefully I'll be able to convince them of that before the time is out. Maybe I need to have this a little higher up. I'll get used to it. I will get used to wearing the sizing. I will also sit down with my instructor and get used to this. Because like, I'm not a beginner, but I am a beginner with elements of it, because MMA is not the same as Taekwondo. So that's the shin guard I've got, the Instep Guard, and I'm obsessed with it. And I can't wait to break these in and walk in, and like, because of how like, I call it like the girly pop aesthetic, I fully expect sexism to happen because not a lot of women turn up at Ultra MMA historically. I can see from the rosters, and I imagine most of those that turn up don't stay. Who knows, probably sexism a little bit, but I doubt it's by design. I just think their marketing doesn't get most women to sign up. It's very dude-centric, the sort of people that this appeals to. And like, most of the women who have signed up, I think do have history of martial arts before. So like, whatever, I'm not their strategist team. But I intend to walk in and look with all this matching stuff, and they're going to be like, who is this girl? And then I'm going to be like, actually, very experienced multi-champion international fighter as of 2 months ago. Well, not even as of 2 months ago. When the first session happens, it'll be like, as of 2 weeks ago, I'm an international fighter. So got these from Levas for Play Well. And it took months for these to get in stock as well. No one stocks purple. And then now we've got my MMA gloves. Now there's a few styles of MMA gloves. I got these off eBay. Not from Mizman.com, from a third-party seller who appears to have like their own shop somewhere in the Midlands for selling equipment. So getting used to this type of equipment is always going to be weird. But basically MMA gloves kind of come in a few versions. The ones that do have the foam bars here instead, which I didn't want, I find it obstructive. And some of them have thumb supports, and I feel like my de Quervain's hand would have appreciated the thumb supports, but they didn't have my colours with a thumb support, so we deal. Plus, like, I feel like this style would be more effective for the grappling and like any grabs I have to do. Obviously, I've not trained in that yet, so I don't know how much I'm talking shite. But I love it, and with it matching, and like, even though this bit's gold and this bit's purple on the design, it's got very similar flow to it. So it feels like a cohesive set, which I'm really happy about. Okay, so that's my MMA gloves. And then they required we have hand wraps, and I want to design my own hand wraps, and I have a design in mind that like would be more my aesthetic. I even found a manufacturer who would be able to do it for a reasonably low minimum order quantities, and it was like 10, so I was like, am I going to make that investment? We'll work it out after we've paid for Belgium. We'll work it out after we've discussed with potential sponsors, because I'm allowed 4 sponsor slots, and I'm very much welcoming sponsor applications, or if you would like to click the link in chat for upgrade chat, you actually have the option of like becoming a Discord member. So you would be a supporter, would be the role. You can do a few things that the general people cannot. You would gain access to a few things the general people cannot. And you can submit, it's basically like Patreon. You can spend any amount you want, and you can recur, or you can do a one-off or whatever. But because I haven't done that yet, and it was getting a bit close, I was like, oh, I should really start buying some wrist wraps now. And I was going to buy like some purple camo ones, which are not exactly in the fitting of the aesthetic. They're the right colour, but it's not like the same energy as it. Doesn't aid to the mise-en-scène at all. He just gave me these black hand wraps, which are, what's the brand? Evo Fitness, and it says evofitnessshop.co.uk. And it's inoffensive, it's plain, it's boring, I don't love it, but they're most likely just gonna wear them under the gloves because of that. I hate the idea of wearing hand wraps. I also hate people who make me wear gloves to do bag work because I'm like barefoot whenever I train on bag on myself. It's all insurance reasons. There's so much, like, it's all just for insurance. Probably going to make us worse, like, all the sparring gear just to jog around for warm-ups, I would imagine. Because, you know, there's beginners and it's getting them in the mindset. And they're like, it's a short course. It's like 2 months. You got to get people who don't wear fighting gear used to wearing it. So they're just going to make us wear it all the time because of that and insurance. So whatever. It's not going to mess up the look because it's black on purple. So it's, like, fine. Also, got a new gum shield, which I said this while I wasn't actively streaming and I didn't realise, but it'll be in the recording. But I ordered this from Levas, and I wanted to buy it, and he managed to get it for me basically at cost, so it was slightly cheaper than it would normally be. I wanted a new gum shield because I wanted it to match all the purple stuff, which, yes, great. But I also liked that I didn't realise until now that you can get gum shields that come with dental warranty. So if you like smash your teeth in while you're wearing one of their gum shields, they basically failed in their job. So they're like, oh, we'll cover that. Don't worry. And this one is a gold level. So that means they will cover up to £15,000 of dental warranty. I think they're like the official gum shield of some kind of rugby league as well. So like, great. And it comes with a little gold Opera logo on it, which matches the glove, which is nice. I just wish I'd gotten 2. So now I need to get someone from Manchester to order ones because he like bought a set of 5 or something on the assumption that he'd make profit later because he got it for me. So I just wish I bought 2 now because I want one for each set of my kit. But like I'll try and get someone from Ultra MMA to order it, and then I can like get my extra thrown in and have them shipped to me. There's something I haven't got yet, which I'm debating. It's definitely not a necessity, but it'll probably stop me going insane and maybe help me make a few friends while I'm there. Although I would like to think I could do that with my skills anyway. There's a thing called a hand wrap roller, and I found one on Amazon for like £8, and you like basically you put in the thumb loop and then you just crank it and it folds up faster. So that'd probably be good. So yeah, that is all of my MMA gear that I have so far. And I'm gonna move, I'm gonna close the strap first. And then I will move over to the next object after I've checked chat briefly. God, now I'm crushing the boot. Wait, okay. We are saving the best for last, so we're not quite there yet. We're gonna move on to this little bag here, which is something that contains something I bought a few months ago. Now, I talked a lot before I actually started the live stream about going abroad, and this is my first time going abroad. I have a rucksack that I take around with me, so I have my sparring bag, which is all my equipment in it and all my Taekwondo and martial arts specific stuff. But when you go to compete, abroad or not, you generally tend to stay overnight at a few places if you're going far out of your way. A lot of people aren't committed enough to competing to do that, but I am. So I have a rucksack, and I wanted to replace it because it's falling apart, and it's not very cute. So we got this to match my on-brand colours. This is a 45-litre rucksack from, was it Elitex Training? It says it on here. Elite Trainex. It's here as well. Elite Trainex, I think. So it's a standard tactical backpack, really. Like, they probably could have just drop shipped this and put their logo on it. But even if they did, I don't care. It's got really pretty zips that are color matched and have their logo on, so they must have done something with it. It comes with a pocket that has a little Velcro patch. This is just the, was it, of hook and loop? I think it's the loop. It's like the backing amount, so you can just take a Velcro patch and go bam, like that. This came with it. It's an American flag, or like something resembling an American flag. I feel like it's got far more stars than the actual American flag has, but I'm not so sure because I'm not American. The company is also based in Spain, so whatever. But it just came free with it, and if I knew I would get a free flag patch, I would have asked for South Korea, because Taekwondo, but they didn't ask, and whatever. It just came for free. I'll probably remove it when I get a better patch. Came with this little lock for the secured section, so I'm assuming this is where they think you're going to put your phone, your purse, your ID, your like important valuables. I have mixed opinions about locking luggage, because to me it kind of just screams, I have something worth stealing in here. But like your alternative is to let them swipe it anyway. At least then you'll like notice them rummaging. Oh, also, did I open? I'm gonna have to open this because it came with something as well. Don't read out the combination on live. Okay, so it came with a little weight plate keychain, which I think is really cute, and I'm debating if I'm gonna put it on one of these zippers because I feel like it does help. I can never work out if I prefer symmetry or like nice little accenting pieces to add more personality, because if you put little accenting pieces to be symmetry, it can be kind of weird. We'll see. But for now it lives in here, and I thought it was really cute. And lock it back up again. So we put the little lock here. I may replace this lock with another lock I bought for traveling, which I'll get to later. But it's very small and it's lightweight as opposed to the other one, which is a bit more bulky, so maybe it's good for lightweight traveling. It comes with another pocket here with a little loopy panel thing, so we can actually add accessories that clip on over time if I want to. Not sure if I will, but you can. And this is like a bigger pocket, which I'm probably going to put my travel vlogging kit in here because I feel like it would fit and it makes it easy access. Also has loops on the bottom where I can put my tripod, which is great. Not sure how planes would handle that because it's like outside of the dimensions, but my travel tripod is actually narrow enough that I believe it could fit inside a compartment if I don't have it looped on the outside. Just depends how much other stuff I've filled in the bag. It has like a little pocket where you put like pens and little tiny objects and for maybe my glasses. And that's really good on the inside. It's pretty depthy. It goes like, basically the pockets on the front basically go the whole length of the bag with very minor margin for exceptions. And then we start getting into the inner compartments. All the compartments have these reinforcer buckles, but just to be able to access the zips, I'm gonna take them out now. And then when you have it full, then you can make them taut against the thing. So you're not having any pull and momentum around the bag. It's just one solid brick, basically. Where's the zips? Zips are all at the top. Again, matching zips, very cute. Bring it all the way down. And this one, again, very deep pocket. So it's a 45-litre overall. It's got a little mesh pocket here, which you could probably put like your portable chargers. You could put a snack in. I have like hand gel. I have a little minor pharmacy that I tend to keep in my rucksack at all times when I go to competitions, because, you know, first aid people aren't dying to give you drugs. They will send you to hospital, tell you to go get some painkillers, generally speaking. The material feels kind of waxy, almost waterproof on this side. Not so much on this side, but like, it's good for rain protection, I guess. Again, goes down almost the entire length of the bag, and it's very square, so you get most optimal access there. That's sort of the pocket where I would probably put books and stuff, or maybe clothes. When I'm traveling, so I'm gonna have to check luggage for my sparring bag, which we'll get to, but I'm very nervous about my checked luggage getting lost. I have a tracker tag, I have a Galaxy tag too. I'll show you that later. But just in case, I can borrow someone's sparring gear. It won't be good. It won't be great at all. I'll have to go find someone in a foreign country and be like, hey, I'm here on my own. Can I just use your equipment? I'll go to the organizer, obviously, and I'll ask around. But like, I can replace that on the fly. So as long as I can fit my gum shield and my dobok in here and my belt for traveling, then I can carry that onto the plane. And then that's like my bare minimum, like this is emergency problem thing. So that's plenty of room for that already. Then if we go to the main compartment, this is like the exciting bit. So the main compartment of this rucksack, which is already enormous and is a 45-litre capacity, which is more than many bags, including that duffel bag, I'm pretty sure. It opens like an envelope. Do they call it an envelope or a binder or a fold? It's like a full 180-degree flap. So it's got mesh pockets that are giant, one without a zip here, one with a zip here. So you can put whatever you need in these sort of things. Then you've got a laptop section, which is padded neoprene. And this is the first laptop section that I can actually fit my laptop in it, because I have a 16-inch computer. And my last rucksack has like a sideways zip access, which is really cool and convenient, which doesn't require you to open the main compartment to get to your laptop, but mine doesn't fit in it. So I pretty much just fold my shopping bags and put it in there to live there as like extra storage. And sometimes I put my iPad in there if I don't want to have to get out all the big stuff on the train to get some entertainment that's more than just my phone. So this is all here. It's reinforced backing. It's really nice. Comes with a little flap to secure it. And this flap here is the shoe storage, which if we close this all up, I will show you now. People use these backpacks to go camping, like they promote it as people go camping. People go on weekend trips, but also week-long trips. People go on holidays with just these things. Like this is the carry-on luggage. If you're just doing carry-on, this is like the carry-on bag. You could do like a week trip up to this if you were really economical in your packing. So the shoe compartment is under here, which you can see it through the loopy loops. I'm not even going to bother unclipping it because I don't feel like I need to for this particular incident. Yeah, the zip is that way. Is it snagging because I was paranoid and didn't open the loops? There we go. If anything, the fact that it's hard to unzip it makes me feel good about the quality of the loops. Okay, yeah, so you open this up, and then your shoes can pop in there. And they do technically sit in the main compartment, but it's nice to separate them because shoes are like dirty, you know? So my duffel bag there has a shoe compartment. My rucksack here has a shoe compartment. We're starting to get to the point where I almost don't have enough shoes to justify traveling with to use the shoe compartment. But generally when I'm traveling, I wear my bulkiest shoes, and then I like put the lesser shoes in the packing to make the most space for my suitcase. Extra features that this rucksack has. So we've gone over the Velcro patch thing, which is cool. Got the little luggage loops. On the side, it's got 2 drinks holders. In the image, these looked more elasticated, I'm not gonna lie. They do have little like string tie expanders, but it doesn't expand anyway. So it's kind of weird. I guess if you had a smaller one, then you could tighten it around it. and that's cool. I have a massive water bottle of like a 2.5 litre water bottle, so that's not really an option. But I do have a more narrow one, and then I could probably like buy a drinks bottle of something like juice or Coke or whatever, and then put that on the other side. And that's available as an option. When I'm going shopping, it might be useful. Not sure if I'm going to use this for shopping because I'm terrified of something exploding in it, as has happened with my older bag. So maybe I'll stick with the older bag as a shopping bag. And this can be like the nice travel competition bag. Also on the back, we have little ID card slot, which looks like plastic, but is actually a very, very thick rubber. And it's like really secure and stretchy. So like that's waterproof as hell. And I don't see it tearing away at any point. These are clippies. I know they have an intended purpose, but I don't know what they are right now. Habitually, I tend to clip my keys to my rucksack loop. I think my other one was like a sunglasses loop. That was how it was marketed as. This might be the sunglasses loop as well. But like I just clip things on here when I need quick access and don't want to take the bag off to get to them, but they have an intended purpose. I just don't know what it is. Normal straps, and then across the chest strap. And this is another luggage loop, which actually has a luggage icon on it for people who don't realize. And it's got nice back support here as well. So this rucksack was technically a gift from my mum. I think I paid shipping for it, but it was going to go out of stock in this color when I ordered it. And I was like, I can't possibly miss this one. I ordered it via my phone while I was away at a competition in the rain, waiting to be picked up by my friend to go further down south in the Midlands. So I was just in Birmingham in the rain, like, while my existing rucksack, where I was like, can I justify it? Can I justify it right now? And then I noticed a hole in it and I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna buy it. So that's the rucksack. And then within the rucksack container, I put a few other bits. So I'm in like a new. We're in new mode. We're resetting. We're getting our new character skin for this new era. I need a new purse because the purse I currently have was a gift from my ex-boyfriend's mum, and it was very nice of her to think of that because I also needed a new purse at the time she gave it to me. But it did break like a week after I got it, so it didn't reek of good quality. The clasp like would not close, and then it tore away. So like. And also, like, it got completely drenched and now it's like sodden through and I just don't understand. So I bought this from a place called Band, which we have one of those in Manchester. Not Band, the brand is Band. And I got it from a place called Damage Society, which we have one in Manchester Arndale. It's the one alternative shop in the Arndale. But I got this one at the Newcastle branch where my mum didn't know I already knew about the shop. It's basically like a clone, and weirdly, they always seem to get corner units. For more display window, I guess, because, you know, emo shop in a very basic shopping centre. But yeah, I went there with my mum and I bought this for £20, and it's very cute. It's got like a little witchy cat there, and it's got some astrology runes, and it's not purple like everything else, but it's still my brand colours because I do purple, black and white. I've got the price tag here, but attached to it you've got like a little bejeweled skull with red eyes and a little ball, and it's nice and simple. Got a coin section, which I make sure all my purses have coin sections because I actually still carry loose change around quite a lot. And then it's got card slots galore, little ID slots, loyalty card slots, cash bits, and I'm just very happy with that. And that's kind of simple. And if I want it to, it can fit in the lockable section, although I have not decided how I will configure this bag yet. And as well, in this little container, we have a lanyard, which was a present from my friend Snowberry, which it's a little bit of an in-joke. It says Bunny Brat on it, and it's got a very cute little, I might bring it closer. You can see the design there. And I think it's very cute. They got it for me, and it's just a normal lanyard. But my keys are like a massive wad of keys. So my keys are like offensively cluttered, and I only need like one set of these things. I do have this keychain, which my mum got me, which I love and I'm going to keep no matter what, which is Real Girls Kick and Yell Taekwondo. And she got me that when I was like 12 or 13 or something, before I had my little hiatus from Taekwondo. But everything else is like keys from old offices from other employers, keys from ex-boyfriends' houses that my ex-boyfriends don't even live at anymore in some instances. The only things I actually need are my flat keys, which like is like one iteration, so I'm probably gonna declutter my keys. This is like a hard reset time. Like I have at least 8 years history worth of keys on here, and I only need one set, so I'm gonna put it on this lanyard, and the lanyard key leash is gonna go somewhere in this bag, and that's what's gonna happen. We've been monologuing a while. Final item in this bag is something very special to me, which is the most personalized thing I have, which is I have 2 QR code embroidered patches. Now, I got these for the last thing I'm going to show you, so I'm not revealing it yet. But I only ordered 2. I ordered 1 of each QR code. So on my other channel, Digital, of which you can scan here to view it, I made a video about how to make permanent QR codes that don't expire for free. And then I did that because I intended to make my own QR codes that I can stick on some stuff. And I have 2 versions. I have one for each of my YouTube channels. And I got the hook and loop version. And because I got unexpected duplicates, I don't know the reason why. Maybe they were a test batch and they went, well, no one else is going to use them. But I wondered if I could put the spare Digital one on the Velcro bit of this rucksack. And because like I said, it came with this American, maybe not American patch. And I didn't really like that. So I was like, can it fit here? And we're really pushing it. Like the whole pocket is the size, which this is 5 inches. So the whole pocket is 5 inches deep. And the Velcro comes to probably about 4 inches deep, maybe even 4.5 inches deep. So like I can put it on there and like if I move it around, it doesn't really do anything, but like it can very easily, like it can really easily come off. So I want to put it on there, but like I don't think I'm going to be able to, just for my peace of mind. Now I know that some places like Wolfpack sell an extender that you can loop through here and you can create a bigger panel to put patches on. But I don't know if I want to, unless I could get it so it was perfectly central and I could still see a lot of the visible purple from behind, then that might be cool. But we'll see how we feel about that. I'm very definitely not ironing on the backing of these patches. Whatever I do, it's going to be a clip-on removable solution. So we'll work that out. And yeah, I have the other one for this channel. But this one, because this is a duplicate as well, I'm going to put this on the back of my dobok, because for ages, loads of people who know me from like actual real life know that I've been talking about getting a customized dobok designed, and I wanted to put a QR code on the back because everyone puts their business logo on the back, their club logo, their organization logo. Everyone puts it on the back of their thing, and it's like, yeah, that's cool, people can see it, but like what benefit is that to you really? The only people who see you at these events where you wear your dobok are people who currently train. So like, yeah, you're increasing your marketing to like potential poachers. So like people who are already at a club, or like people who are maybe visiting to spectate their friend. But if they're spectating their friend, they're probably going to go to their friend's club, and then the friend can tell them who that is. So like, who are you promoting to? Just other existing martial artists who already train elsewhere. So unless you're looking to take other people's students away, there's not a massive benefit. Like there's a slight benefit of maybe someone will see your logo in a video and they'll go, oh, they're a really good fighter. Where shall I go to train? That person's suit says that. But that's like second, third hand down the funnel sort of stuff. So what can I actually do is guaranteed to be beneficial to me to put on my very plain black dobok that is just like mine? I just bought it. Put a QR code on the back to my YouTube channel so people who see me fighting can maybe go see their fight footage when I eventually upload it, or they can like see martial arts content. And it invites a question, and like as a marketer, someone might be like, oh, how did you think of that? And I'll be like, well, I'm a digital marketer, and then maybe I have a client. I have a spare one, so I'm going to put it on the back of my dobok, and I'm going to sew it on because I don't trust Velcro for this sort of thing. Especially because you tend to roll around on the mats and the floor a lot at martial arts classes. And these patches are a hybrid style because QR codes, like if they're embroidered, there's a risk that like a little bit will come off and then the QR code is no longer valid and working. So the logo is embroidered. We've got an embroidered trim to make it look nicer, and then it's like printed onto the fabric for the actual QR code. So I'm really proud of that. So let me rearrange the bits to put this out of the way before we go to the final item. It is the big daddy item. So this is a dream duffel. It cost me £265 for the bag, £10 for shipping. These guys are amazing. They were incredible. So this brand of bag is designed by an American lady who, I can't remember her name right now, but I feel like it's Alyssa, but I don't know for certain. And this woman created this brand not quite 20 years ago, not quite sure when. She was a dance mom. We've all seen the show, we know the sort of thing that goes on. Taekwondo mums, I don't know if they are exactly the same as dance moms, but I imagine there's similar cattiness that goes on. Luckily I'm not a parent and I don't have to deal with that for the most part. But she would go to these dance competitions and she would need about 10 different bags for all the different costumes that her daughter would need. And then there's the makeup situation, and then there's finding a spot on the floor to get all dressed up and do your hair and look nice and pretty, and then also do your warm-ups, and then where's the mum gonna sit while we're just waiting? So she invented a bag that solves all the issues that arise for her dance competitions. And these are a lot of similar issues that arise for me as a Taekwondo competitor. Not exactly the same, but very similar. It's since been adopted by people in like the cosplay communities, drag queens, a lot of performance-based stuff, but like artistry performance, I mean, not like performance. And I'm hoping I could be the person to bring this to the martial arts world, and maybe you guys will like sponsor me, because honestly, you're such a great business to order from. It would be really nice. So this bag has a lot of features. Specifically getting this one was a nightmare because they are an American-based company. I'm going to point out that this is an incredibly good quality item, because there were people in the comments and I was like, that is an expensive bag. There are people who were in the comments of their TikTok like, I got mine 14 years ago and it still looks like it's in mint condition. And I'm like, you know what? That's reassuring. That if I can use this thing for 15 years, maybe 20 if it turns into bad nick, then I got my money's worth. Honestly, because that piece of shite that I had when I got my first ever Taekwondo bag, which you can't see because it's entirely off camera, my first ever one, cost like 30 quid, and it was like dead immediately, and it was ugly and it was useless, and it was like But this particular design is limited edition. This is the Sparkle Dream Duffel. They tend to do drops. They have a few like base colors that they always have, like plain black and stuff, but they have a few drops of like additions of designs. They tend to do them in black, blue, pink and purple, which is rare because most people tend to do black, white and pink if they do like a different color palette. But you know, dancers are fabulous people, so it gives you more variety. But this shade of purple, this is Amethyst. They have pictures of a lighter purple one, which worried me because the UK version of the website, when you go on it, didn't have any evidence of this colour existing. Didn't have the word amethyst anywhere. It had a couple listings that had purple on it, but most of the pictures were of the different colours of bags, like pink and blue. And then the one image that had some purple on it was of this light lilac-y colour, whereas mine is more deep violet, and they called this amethyst. So I thought that the UK didn't have it. However, the US website had this colour on pre-order, and I was looking at this months ago. It took me like months. When I say I was looking for a new Taekwondo bag that could be both my kit bag for my normal kit and my overflow, but also be my checked luggage bag, so it's also my suitcase to take abroad, I needed a massive one, and I knew that. And it needed other criteria to fit as well. Like I need certain like pockets that I can put separate little bits in. And I was looking into that for weeks of physical time, months over the span of time, but weeks of literal hours I spent hunting. I was driving people around me mad. And I was like, this one's great, but it doesn't have this, and this one can't be shipped, and this one wouldn't fit my equipment, and this one hasn't got a strap. And it's like a whole thing. It was an enormous problem. And then I found this and it was only on the US website. So I emailed the US website and I was like, what's going on with this? And I was, at this point I was like, it's perfect. I'm in love with it. I want this bag. If I have to do what I did for my sparring equipment there, to go to an American I know and then get it shipped forward and then there's no chance of returning it, I was like, if I have to do that, I will pay to do that, because at this point I'm already paying like almost 300 quid for a bag. Like, just do it. Just get me the bag. And they were like, whoa, 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 wait a minute. We know that the UK should be stocking this. Have you emailed the UK? And I go, yes, I haven't had a reply. And then they go, okay, right. Well, this was around the holidays we were having this conversation as well. So it was basically like, you reach out to them, and then when I was like, they haven't reached out to me, can I just order it? I just want to order it because it's pre-order and I need it to have it by February. And if it's coming from America, I don't know how long it's going to take to ship such a large item from America. So like, can I just have it? Can I just buy it? And they were like, whoa, 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 we will contact the UK. And it turns out that the UK website is having a lot of technical issues. Now, I am a digital marketer. I do websites by trade sometimes, on occasion, amongst other things. And it was kind of weird because a lot of the details were messed up, and it was like the only thing that indicated that this was the bag I wanted was the name of the product title. And even then it just said purple. It didn't say amethyst. And I was like, is that? The images, I've already told you what the images were, but the product description as well was talking about their purple leopard design, which is a different bag, which is also a limited edition one, I think. It also looks pretty cute, but it's not perfect for me like this one. with the sparklies, you know? So I was like, is it definitely this one? Is this link on this page? If I buy this, I get this exact bag. And they were like, yes. So that took months. And we were talking about patches. So like I was saying, I got the embroidered patches. I got it for the bag. So on the top, I have my DebbersDo one. And then there's another one over here I'll show you in a minute on this side, which has my DibDab Digital QR code. So when I'm like on the move, people can see it. And I feel like that's a great idea because people are only gonna like scan one or the other. But when you're out in the wild, more people are likely to need like marketing information. So that's the one that's more visible when it's on the side being rolled because it has wheels. And then this one is more like in the dojang when my bag is like sat down next to everyone else's sparring bags. This is the more easily visible one. So I thought about the UX of this as I've made this. But I got these patches done separate from an Etsy seller called Fong Patches, I think. Fong is in F-O-N-G. Fong something or other. I'll link everything. I'll link everything when I post the proper video. It's gonna be a lot of links and none of them will be affiliate links. So again, sponsors accepted. So I'm gonna go through the features of this bag because we're in the home stretch now. We're almost there. They have D-rings on the outside, which are here. Now I'm wondering if I separately bought like a very heavy industry shoulder strap. Could I have a shoulder strap? It's a bit too big to consider putting on my shoulders, but in theory I maybe could. But I'm gonna use these as like accessory things. So I have my keychains that I design and sell on my website here, like my glove one. I don't know if you can see it because like, yeah, here, like this one. I make these high. And I sell those. So I was thinking I could like loop a couple on if I don't see them as disruptive to the aesthetic at this point. But also, I was thinking, because I do this in the competition hall, and the amount of times I have seen, admittedly mainly children, but not always children, I've seen people lose their medals. Because you just like, you do the division, like sometimes it's like, oh, we're gonna do patterns, okay, great, well done, everyone, patterns, medals, go put them away, go get your gear on, come right back, we're gonna do it right now, go, go, go. And it's like people just throw their medals down, and then it goes into the pile amongst everyone else. So I was thinking I could loop my medals into these D-rings to sort of almost psychological intimidation as well, you know, be like, look, she's winning, oh no. So I will also be able to keep track of them if I loop them through, and I feel like that's a good idea. On the bottom here, there's a very sturdy loop looking thing. It kind of looks like a handle, but it's actually more like a kickstand because you can lift this thing up and it becomes a wheelie suitcase. Now, remember how I said the loop here for the luggage loop is a bit less useful? Because this very fancy handle is actually too wide to put this on. But that's fine, because there are very few instances where I'm gonna need all of this room for my Taekwondo equipment and suitcase and luggage, and then also an MMA bag. The MMA bag is a separate thing. This is a short-term plan, and it's like very niche gear that I'm gonna need for other instances. So the MMA bag doesn't really matter. I've put it away now, but the rucksack is wide enough that it should quite easily loop on. It's a little taller than the handle, so maybe my hand will feel a bit weird, but I imagine if I'm tired enough, I won't care about that because it means the rucksack won't be on my back. So you can see on the underside here, it's got not just like little like textures, it's got actual like barriers and platforms to separate you from the floor. It's got these hard corners because it is a duffel. It's not a suitcase. It's not a shell. It's like a framework of very rugged fabric within a shell. Not within a shell, within a frame. But it's like, this says DD on it, this is Dream Duffel, the handle says Dream Duffel, there's a nice little pattern on the handle. All of the little screw caps, you know, like to cover the screw heads, they say Dream Duffel. There's another thing here, like the zipper has the logo embossed on the zipper. It's really well made, honestly. This is a handle. You can pick it up. It's very light, obviously, because it's empty right now. I think the listing said it's 15 pounds when empty, which I don't know what that is in kilos, but it's light. It's very light. You can't quite see it until I tilt it. But this is a little port. It comes with cables as well, and it's got different ports. It's a little outdated. It's got a normal USB 3 or USB 2, I don't know. Like a normal USB, like a full-sized one. And then it's got a micro USB. So for USB-C or like any other ones, you would need an adapter. So that's a little outdated, but it's still totally functional. My portable battery is actually equally outdated, so it's compatible, so it doesn't matter. Plus I have a million adapters for various things. But through into the inside, there's like a little pocket and cable where you can put a power bank. So you don't need to take your power bank out. It can stay securely in the bag to use it. And that's an option, and it's great. On the front, you will very clearly see some pockets. This one is, I'm gonna move this. This one is very cute. It's like a little satchel bag all on its own. It's got a flap, and this is almost certainly where I'm gonna put my belt because I can roll it up into a coil and it fits. And it's also where I'm probably gonna put my license, unless I put that on the inside pocket because there are inside pockets. I'm gonna do that there. And then this one has a zipper. Why is it different, you ask? That is because this one is a fully, you can't really see from this angle, I imagine, but it's a fully insulated snack pocket. And it's so big on the, this is the medium size. This is not the small. They have a small, a mini. The mini is like a single column. It's like half of the mini. This is the medium. They warn you on the large that it's considered oversized by basically every airline. This is considered oversized by the airline I booked to go to Brussels, so I'm gonna have to pay for more for this one on Brussels Airlines. But it's a whole lunchbox of a snack pocket, so there's no concern there. And this is great actually, because on local competitions, probably not a thing I'm gonna be doing for on a plane, but for local competitions, I tend to like go and get snacks once I'm immediately off the train before I go to my accommodation for the night. So I have to carry that with all my overnight and sparring gear and stuff. And like, this is a nice dedicated little pocket for it. And a lot of these places don't have fridges. So this is nice for that reason. Opening up the main compartment of the Dream Duffel, we open the flap. I'm just gonna say the sparkles, it looks a lot like my Doc Martens I had where the sparkles came off. I'm running my hands over it and it's weird because you can kind of feel the texture. There's no protective layer, but I've not had a single speckle of glitter come off yet anywhere. So I don't know what material this is, but it's magic. The flap has its own zippered section again. Due to the construction of this and the fact that it's not a hard shell suitcase, I might recommend putting something soft in here to sort of pad and reinforce in case it gets stacked in transit in any way. On the inside, I've clipped it on now so you really can't see it, but I have a Galaxy tracking tag 2 on the inside D-rings, but on the inside, it's got a massive open compartment. Like I know a contortionist and she could fit in here. Literally, a child could fit in here, an animal could fit in here. You know, you joke about people like coming away on your holiday with you by going in your suitcase. If I try, I feel like I could go in it. I don't want to, but I feel like I could. So we've got pockets, mesh pockets that are divided and line the entire side. Got Velcro so you can like have slightly bigger stuff. I might put my theory books and things in here, or my first aid kit, and that's like organized on the side. We've got on this side, we've got them as well. This is where the cable for the charger leads to, so this is probably where my power bank would go. And then we've got, not quite the same, not a mesh pocket, but like a, where is it? Like a zippered pocket here. Where's the zip there? I've lost it. There it is. Zippered pocket. And I'm not entirely sure what this is intended for. It feels like another shoe flap, probably, with the material. And then this is all Velcroed. It does peel away because they have a video on their YouTube channel about how to like maintain the frame, because over time it will inevitably warp a little bit. But this is the thing that makes this like a dance focused bag now I'm gonna show you. But it actually does have benefits for martial artists, and I will tell you for why. So you move this out of the way. And then you have another one over here. And then you have a little thing that clips here. It's got its own dedicated rack. And they actually sell scrunchies, so you can have color on this bar. Oh, it's still brand new, so it's very firm, not warped yet. But it also means it's hard to put in place. And you're not supposed to collapse this while it's got the bar on it, but like you would press this button to do it. And this is a very functional clothing rail. And the idea is that dancers can put all their costumes on it. They sell accessories that, you know, like outfit bags. And realistically, a big problem I have at Taekwondo competitions is I will like open my bag and then stuff is just spilled everywhere. I nearly lost my travel vlogging kit because it was out of my rucksack and it got moved under the bleachers and it got like lost and I had to go back to the venue one time. If I could like safely know where everything is because it doesn't leave the floor space of the bag itself, oh my God, my life would change. And I hope it will because I spent the money for it. So even if I didn't put the medals here, then maybe I could hang them on here and like loop them and, you know, display them like a cocky fuck. And also, like, I could put my dobok in a garment bag and hang it here. And they have accessories where it's like a hair accessories container. And I would love that because so many times I'm having to like run away to like do my hair so I can see my hair in the mirror, because for patterns especially, although other stuff too, you get marked down on like presentation scores. So I need like the smoothest ponytail ever with not a single strand of hair out of place. And having to go find a mirror to do that. There was one time where I was hogging the disabled bathroom sink and people were using the toilet. Because, you know, like leisure center toilets, they're constantly churning for competitions, it's endless. I don't know how they keep up with the toilet paper demand. Like the whole time I was hogging the sink and I was like, no, you use the sink. I just need the mirror, because I just couldn't get my hair quite right. So if I could get like a little hair accessories bag to have my bobbles and my clips and the little attachment mirror, I can hang it on here. And the back, I'll get to the back, but there's a back pocket section where they have a stool pocket. And I will show you how that works in a second. But like, so you can have your own little design, like sit down and get ready station. I keep joking that some people should like start hairstylist businesses at competitions where they just braid, but like I could sit down and have a mirror and do my hair here, or I could get someone else to braid my hair here. I haven't bought a stool, but feasibly, you could hang it somewhere. And also, while I'm traveling, there are many occasions where I'm like, my bag is a mess because like, here's the dirty stuff and here's the clean stuff. And like, I can't access it, so I have to like dig in. But I can just bring hangers now, and I have my own little travel wardrobe for when I'm moving about, and it's great. So that's the main feature of the Dream Duffel that makes it unique. I don't know any bag that does it. There are obviously like, other bags have stolen this idea, where they have like drop shipped and like plagiarized ideas. Obviously nothing stays unique forever, and small businesses have their ideas stolen all the time, but this was the OG. And it's amazingly good quality compared to all the flimsier things. Weirdly, getting this back in place on the bar rack is more difficult than anything else. But it's because it's like a nice made to form clip, so you have to get it just right. Yeah, so that's all the inside-y stuff. If you want it to come down, you just press here. And in my guerrilla filmmaker mind, I want to work out how I could adapt this to hold like a monopod, like hold my travel vlogging camera. But we'll work that out another day. We'll use it as intended for a while first. And I'll just take my travel tripod with me. Close this flap up. And then if I wheel it up and rotate, here, on this side, we have what I've already described to you is the stool pocket. And I'm gonna clip this because it's bothering me. Okay, so here we have the stool pocket, and it's really tall because it's literally a foldy stool is intended to go in here. And you might be wondering, even if you have a compact stool, as like everyone's familiar with in drama studios, how does it actually fit? Because it's still pretty small, right? Well, you unzip this and you've got this like half buckle thing here. Once you unzip it, you have a little extender cable, and the idea is that the top of the stool sits and it folds over and it clips in there. Now, how a martial artist could use this rather uniquely is very, very niche and was my own original thought. I have these things here called kama, which are dual wielding sickle axes, and I'm not great with them. I'm a very, very beginner level kama user. I've not even had a single class on it, entirely self-taught with YouTube videos, but I had an idea where if I were to compete in weapons, I could put these bad boys in here and then strap it over. And naturally I would need to tighten it a bit. But there you go, weapons pocket. Now that's how you should sponsor me. Because I got a big brain. I am really quite chuffed with my super expensive bag purchase, which I posted a little teaser video on my Facebook, like my personal Facebook, not even my Facebook page, when I first had it arrive. And I had a few people call me being like, not call me, like call me out, I mean, in the comments being like, you mental. I just got a suitcase for like £40 and it's like, yeah, but it's not this, is it? So that's my decision. Oh, also, final thing I'm gonna mention once I put this away. So, I'm gonna unclip this. Go in there. Zip. There's a pocket here, which I'm not sure how easily you can see it, but there's a little tiny pocket. It looks like one of those label tag flaps, but it also looks like what you hide the handle in. But the handle's here, right? So this is a wider than normal luggage handle, but this is like the normal width for luggage handle concealment would be. Like I have one like this on my other rucksack, not my other rucksack, my other suitcase. But the handle's here, so I was like, it's not that. So is it an ID card label slot? And I don't think it is, because when you unzip it, it's completely flat, but it's got like a little mesh pocket in it. And I don't know what it's meant to be for. It wasn't listed on the features on the website. I didn't discuss with it when I talked to the staff. By the way, shout out to Jocelyn, who like dealt with the majority of my back and forth on the American team. But like, I don't know what it's for. I don't know what I'm going to use it for. Maybe it's intended for tracking tags, who knows. Oh yeah, that's what I haven't covered yet, is tags. So I talked about my Google tag that I got. What is it? So I'll get the boxes. Originally I was going to use Tile, which is a very popular brand. How high am I? I don't know. Originally I was going to use Tile, which was a little bit cheaper, which is why I went for it inherently. It's nice because it's got little features where I later learned it's only paywalled, not inherently part of it. But if you like tap the tag, then it can ping back to your lost phone, for example. It works 2 ways. It's got loads of fancy features, but I then realized it only works on the network of if someone else in the vicinity has the Tile app, which the whole reason I got this sort of thing is in case my luggage doesn't make it onto my flight with me. So I'm not going to be near it to have my phone ping off of it. So I'm relying on someone else in the airport having the Tile app. Now, that's an increased chance to just in the wild on a country road somewhere, but not the staff. I don't think the staff have that app very often, and they're the ones handling the luggage. So we're returning this. And instead I got the Samsung Galaxy Smart Tag 2, which is on the inside of the bag already, and I've clipped it on, so I'm not removing it, where it pings off any Samsung phone or Samsung Galaxy phone, you know, to a certain generation. Although it's still a bit risque, much higher likelihood of that being available in the network in the vicinity. So I'm really happy with that one. It works for Androids of all varieties. And then my final little addition is got a TSA lock. I got 2 of them. I'm wondering if I'm going to put the other one on my rucksack. Might do for when I fly. They are a little rope one, because this Dream Duffel doesn't have a lockable section. And like, if you're, like, again, I have debates on like, I have something worth stealing. It goes through the zipper, where on like the big one. Where is it? Da-da-da. Like these 2, it goes through the actual zipper itself, not the zipper handles, but it fits and it's great and it's color coded, even though it's a little lighter than normal. It's purple. My rucksack actually has an intended lockable section, so we'll see if I use that one or the intended lock it came with. That is all my new gear. I went through a lot of stuff, a lot of trauma to get all this equipment, and I have gone to great personal sacrifice to actually find it all, research it all, make it coordinate, let alone buying it. Like I make a decent amount of money from my job. I'm a good professional in my field, but I don't earn consistently. I do a lot of contract-based work, client work, fixed term, part-time contracts. So like I don't really have consistent revenue at any point, even from my business. So this was a real investment on my part, and I do think I have put a lot of work in. I could justify getting a sponsor or 2, which I'm talking a lot about it. Nothing in this video is sponsored so far, so please don't flag me. But like in the future, if you'd like to retroactively pay me back for this stuff, that would be nice. The final thing I'm going to do is I actually have Taekwondo class tomorrow, which is why I've stayed up so late talking about all this stuff, because this is going to be the dry run of taking this to class. Might have to go on the train because my classmate who gives me a lift says that her tire's blown out. I know it'll fit, not an argument, it's gonna fit. But we're gonna get an idea of how well it fits, because I need all my equipment to go in it, as well as my suitcase overnight travel stuff. Not gonna put in the old equipment. Like, I almost never use it at class, so like if this is the one class I need the spare equipment, then that's just like, that's not my responsibility, it's not my class, I'm just a student. But like, the older stuff is getting a wipe down before it goes in the new stuff. But we can put all the new stuff in there because I need to break in this new equipment, and we're doing sparring tomorrow because Salem is coming to class as a little guest visit. So we're gonna put this all in here and we're gonna see how much free space we have. And although I imagine I'm gonna get sick of the mesh bags over time, we'll humor it, we'll do it for now. we'll do all the big grand unveil at class because there's no way they're watching this live stream right now. Okay, so I can already tell there's going to be so much free space. It's going to be like wild. Okay. Put this in the mesh bag. Yeah, so I do want a new gum shield. I'm gonna have to put the old gum shield in the new bag, and that's bothering me. But no, because if I put the new one in and just get another new one, then I'll have to buy it soon, and I'll have to remold it tonight, and I don't want to do that. So we're gonna put the old gum shield in for now, and we're gonna have a little strop about it. My voice is so hoarse. I know I can talk a lot, but I don't think I've ever talked so long uninterrupted before in a good, I was gonna say this year, but like in a year, more than. So here we go. So that's already the hands, feet, and helmet, and it's not even half full. And let's get the forearm guard and the shin guards. Wrap it all up in a little bundle, like that. Where is it at? Where is it at? That's a bit less coherent, but it's fine. We'll just put it on in the side here, because it fits. And that's like, that's so much space. Like, that's not even optimum configuration. That's so much space. Oh my god. Like, so if we just compare, like, I don't know how much you can see, but like, that's how full it is so far. And the stuff that I will be putting in it once it's wiped down more. These gloves aren't going to be in it by default. These are staying in the overflow kit bag at home. This is my gum shield. I'm gonna put the gum shield in a little Velcro pouch for now. Just there. I do need to take that with me. So the WT stuff, once it's washed, is going in there. I've got those forearm guards there now, so I don't need the glossy ones. They're for the overflow. My 14 ounces. So we've got my default kit is my kick boots, my open palm gloves, my helmet, my shin guards, which are also grouped with some forearm guards that are equally new, like single use new. We are going to have my 14 ounces, my 12 ounces, my WT kit, which is basically socks. Don't really want to put the groin guard in there. Like, it's the just in case kit, so like maybe, but like, just look at how little space that takes compared to how much is left. And then like I would still have like clothes and stuff and like other competitions. And I'm still taking the rucksack. The rucksack is still 45 liters. I could put all the clothes in the rucksack if I wanted with my laptop and my travel vlogging kit. Like it's not a problem. Anything else I need in there for tomorrow? No. Belt. Other stuff is negotiable. Oh yeah, I forgot. In addition to the normal hand wraps that I got given, Stephen equally gave me some quick wraps, but I don't need those, so they live in the overflow bag for now. Theory books we'll do another time. Just for class tomorrow, what I need. We got my belt. Choose my second damn belt. Let's see if it fits in the intended place. Let's put it in here. Perfect. This bag is in fact more empty than full right now, which is wild to me because I'm so used to it being overflowing, bursting. I'm probably going to feel excessive at points bringing this to like regular classes or to seminars. But like when you've got like a guest student you didn't expect, or like you need some extra kit, I'm normally the person who has it ready and waiting to go, so I don't really have any shame about that. And this is a competition, but they're like walking into the competition hall, I want to make a statement. Walking into a normal class, my existence kind of makes its own statement because like I apparently am a weirdo. But like I've got enough self-confidence that coming with a particularly big bag doesn't bother me, especially because I once saw someone bring a bag to a competition that had weapons in it as well, and it was like a long, it was like a stilts bag, but it had sparring kit in it, and it was like 6, 7, maybe even 8 foot long. Not particularly thick, but it wasn't like configured like this amazing monstrosity. It was just like a long tube with a single zip, and it was just a container. So yeah, thank you very much. Hope you have enjoyed this mega kit review. Keep an eye out for upcoming updates. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Subscribe.